The oldest rivalry in football is about to take a turn nobody saw coming, and I've been tracking movements that suggest something absolutely extraordinary could happen this offseason. There's a player wearing green and gold right now who's been torching defenses across the NFC North, and the possibility of him switching sides in the historic rivalry is suddenly more realistic than most people realize. I'm about to break down a scenario that would not only address one of our biggest weaknesses, but would also send shockwaves through the entire division. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to understand exactly why this move makes perfect sense for the Chicago Bears. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report, your home for the most in-depth analysis, breaking news, and strategic insights about our beloved Chicago Bears. I'm here every single day bringing you the information that matters, the moves that count, and the analysis that goes beyond surface level takes. If you're serious about understanding where this franchise is headed and want to be part of a community that actually knows football, make sure you're subscribed, because we're building something special here. Let me paint a picture for you, and I need your full attention, because this connects in ways that become clearer as we go. The Bears' receiving core has been a topic of intense discussion throughout. While we've seen flashes of potential from various players, we're still searching for that true difference maker on the outside who can consistently win one-on-one matchups, stretch the field vertically, and create explosive plays that change game. Our young quarterback needs weapons he can trust, receivers who can separate, and targets and turn routine passes into game-bringing moments. Now I want you to think about the characteristics of an ideal receiver for our offensive scheme. We need someone with legitimate speed who can threaten defenses deep. We need a player with size who can win contested catches and create mismatch against smaller defensive back. We need a receiver who's proven he can perform in this division, who understands the physical nature of NFC North football, and who has experience winning crucial game pressure situations. Most importantly, we need someone who's entering the prime of their career, someone we can build around for the next several seasons as we continue developing our core. Keep all of that in mind as I walk you through what I've been analyzing. There's a 25-year-old receiver in the NFC North who checks every single one of those boxes. He's averaging over 60 receiving yards per game this hauled in 28 catches, 481 yards. His yards per reception average demonstrates his ability to make plays downfield, and his touchdown production shows he's a legitimate red zone. This isn't some unproven prospect or aging veteran looking for one last contract. This is a player in his absolute prime who's proven he can produce at a high level. But here's where this gets really in for us Bears fans. This player has experience against elite competition in our division. He's faced the same defenses we face twice a year. He knows what it takes to win in December and January in the Midwest. His production against quality opponents isn't theoretical. It's documented and proven. In recent weeks, he's put up 85 yards, 80 yards, and 89 yards in different games. He's scored multiple touchdowns in crucial divisional matchups. The consistency and big playability are exactly what we've been missing. Now, let me transition into the strategic element that makes this conversation so compelling. The Bears are in a unique position this offseason. We have draft capital, we have cap flexibility, and we have a front office that's shown they're willing to be aggressive when the right opportunity presents itself. General Manager Ryan Poles has been methodical in building this roster, focusing on establishing a strong foundation trenches while strategically adding skill position talent that fits our long-term vision. The question isn't whether we need to improve at receiver, the question is how we accomplish that improvement most effectively. The draft class in 2026 features some intriguing wide receiver prospect, absolutely. However, drafting a receiver in the first, second round means waiting for development, hoping they can adapt to NFL speed, and accepting the inherent risk that comes with any rookie. Free agency presents options as well, but the top-tier receivers rarely hit the open market, and when they do, they command premium contracts that can hamstring your salary cap for years. There's a third option, though, one that involves strategic timing and recognizing when a divisional rival might be vulnerable to making a move they wouldn't normally consider. Green Bay's roster situation heading into the more complex record might suggest. They have multiple dealing with various injuries. They have contract decisions to make across their roster, including some significant extensions that will They have a quarterback situation that's evolving and roster construction decisions that need to align with their timeline. Sometimes in the NFL, teams reach a point where a player's value in a trade exceeds their value on the current roster. Special cap consideration, roster composition factored into the equation. Christian Watson is exactly the type of player Chicago Bears should be targeting. There, I said it. The Green Bay Packers receiver who's been a consistent producer, torched us 89 yards, 2 touchdowns earlier this season, who has the size, speed, and skill set we desperately need, could potentially be available if the circumstances align correctly. This isn't about fantasy or wishful thinking. This is about recognizing a realistic scenario where both teams could benefit from action that shapes the NFC landscape. Let's talk about what Watson would bring to Chicago specifically. His ability to win vertically would immediately open up our entire offensive playbook. Defensive coordinators would have to expect the deep, create more favorable match for our other receivers under, give our running game more room to operate. His red zone presence would give us a target who can go up and get tested balls, something we've lacked crucial scoring. His experience in this division means there would be minimal adjustment period. He already knows these defenses. He already understands the intensity of these rivalries. The statistical profile supports this move as well. Watson's averaging 17.2 yards per reception, which demonstrates his downfield effectiveness. His 43 targets, resulting 28 catches, shows good efficient and reliable. The 5 touchdowns in limited targets indicate he's making the most of his opportunity. These aren't empty statistics. They represent real production against NFL competition. When you project what those numbers could look with increased volume in an offense specifically designed to utilize skill set, the upside becomes even more exciting. From Chicago's perspective, acquiring Watson would address our receiver need while simultaneously weakening a divisional rival. There's strategic value beyond just what he brings. Every touchdown he scores for us is one he's not scoring against us. Every game-winning catch he makes in a Bears uniform is one less weapon Green Bay can deploy. The psychological impact of a player switching sides in this rivalry cannot be understated. The Bears-Packers rivalry is the foundation of NFL history, and moves like this add another chapter storied legacy. The financial aspect makes sense, too. Watson's current contract situation would make him an affordable acquisition compared to signing a top-tier free agent receiver. We'd be getting a proven commodity without breaking the bank, allowing us to maintain the cap flexibility needed to address other rosters. The draft capital required to facilitate a trade would be worth it for a player who can contribute immediately and fits our timeline perfectly. We're not in rebuilding mode anymore. We're in the phase where strategic additions can push us into legitimate contention. Now, suggesting this happens tomorrow or that it's guaranteed to happen at all. I'm analyzing this as a realistic possibility that makes sense for all parties involved when you examine the roster construction needs, the contract situation, and the strategic positioning of both franchises. The Bears need to be aggressive in pursuing moves that elevate this roster to championship caliber. We've established the foundation, we've developed young talent, and now we need to add those final pieces that transform a good team great. The beauty of a potential Watson acquisition is that it aligns everything Ryan Poles has preached about building. We're targeting players in prime, we're focusing on measurable production, prioritize scheme, and we're willing to make bold moves when the opportunity presents itself. This isn't about making flashy moves for the sake of headlines. This is about calculated decisions that improve our championship odds. So here's my complete. Christian Watson represents exact type of receiver the Chicago Bears should be pursuing. His production, skill set, age, and his contract situation all align with what the possibility of acquiring him from Green Bay adds a strategic element that goes beyond just roster improvement. Would it require negotiation and the right circumstances? Is it realistic given the complex factors involved? I believe it is. Would it immediately upgrade our offense and send a message about our championship intention? Without question, I'm optimistic about where this franchise is headed. We have young talent, we have excellent coaching, we have a general manager who understands how to build a winner. Moves like potentially acquiring Christian Watson would demonstrate that we're not content with just being competitive. We're aiming to dominate the division and contend for championship. The Bears are building something special, and strategic additions at key position will accelerate that. Before I wrap this up, I need to hear from you. Comment. Would you support the Bears making a move, Christian Watson? What would you be willing to give up in terms of draft capital to make this happen? Do you think he's the missing piece our receiving core needs, or should we focus on another target? How would you feel about a former Packers player wearing navy and orange? Drop your thoughts below, because this is the kind of move that divides fan bases, and I want to know where you stand on this potential game change. If this analysis opened your eyes to possibilities you hadn't considered, make sure you're subscribed to Bears News Fan Report and hit that notification. I'm bringing you this level of detailed breakdown every single day, covering every angle of how this franchise can get back to championship football. Share this video with fellow Bears fans who need to hear this perspective, and let's keep this conversation going. The offseason is when championships are built, and we're going to cover every move, every decision, and every strategy that impacts our beloved Chicago Bears. I'll see you in the next, and as always, bear down.